Hey, what is going on, everybody? And in this video, I'm going to be trying to answer the question, is Grounded 2 dead? And with that, well, I'm going to be reacting to Trav Gaming, who's reacting to Cdiinky's video, who's reacting to Mediocre Milton's video. And unfortunately, when I tried to find Mediocre Milton's video on it, it may or may not have gotten privated. So, yeah, that's that. Also, I know I'm 5 days late, but like what my dad said when he returned with the milk, better late than never. So I'm going to be reacting to this video, and we're going to see the question. You know, we're going to answer the question, is Grounded 2 dead? And enough of me yapping, let's get on to the video.
Hey, I'm Cdiinky. Alrighty, so I have woken up, and I know it's 1 o'clock, so don't mind me. I've woken up and I've seen Milton has posted a...
Real quick, let's look, see what he's...
Dinky's sleep schedule's chopped. Okay, but let's be for... All right, I'm sorry. All right, to analyze a few things, first of all...
Got his things. Tinier Tidbit mod, Grounded. So we're spying now right here. Big Reddit. What the hell is it? Future.
Oh, let's go. Me and Trav are currently spying right now.
What's Big Reddit? What's a big... Wait.
That is true. What is Big Reddit? That is a huge question. What is Big Reddit? Is it a, you know what? I'm saying this right now. Milton's working for a secret division of Reddit. It's a government psyop. And just to say this, the like to dislike ratio is not looking too good. Ooh, that's kind of rough.
Pause and agree with him.
Survivors and backyard adventures.
He's just saying like it was it.
Somber Sky.
So the first part of the video is just like him going over a eulogy about Grounded 2.
Ceremony for Grounded 2 being dead.
Farewell to Grounded 2. A once vibrant world of shrunken heroes, towering blades of grass, and epic battles of birds in its tiny realms.
For me, I feel like the bit is going on a little too long.
Rest in peace, Grounded 2. May your code find eternal bug-free pastures.
After that speech that Milton made, I'm sad now. I'm now sad. Anyways.
I don't know if this video is rage bait or not, but...
it feels like kind of like, that part feels like a rage bait part.
It could be rage bait, who knows?
Right? Aside, I am growing more and more concerned with the future of Grounded 2. Now, I'm going to start off by saying that I'm still optimistic that in the end, it will end up being a good survival game. However, I'm less and less optimistic each day that it's going to end up being better than the original, which is what I originally thought was going to happen.
It was funny. I paused it when I was watching it, the beginning part, because we were talking about this on stream last night. Like, I should do a live react to this thing. So it's just like, I think we're going to pause at the exact same time. He was talking about like he's worried about not being better. I mean, potentially. I don't feel like it wouldn't be better. I guess if
future of Grounded 2. Now, I'm going to start off by saying that I'm still optimistic that in the end, it will end up being a good survival game. However, I'm less and less optimistic each day that it's going to end up being better than the original, which is what I originally thought was going to happen.
It was funny. I paused it when I was watching it, the beginning part, because we were talking about this on stream last night. Like, I should do a live react to this.
For Grounded 2 being better than Grounded 1, honestly, I don't know yet. We're just going to have to wait and see.
It happens.
100%.
The game launches, lots of people check it out, and then people start falling off and going on to other things.
Yep.
Okay, I agree. That's a good statement. The game's not finished. Obviously, you're paying to play the game in early access.
Looking forward to that.
One of the concerns is really quickly tell you why I even made this video. So, as I've said before, early access games, early access survival games, they always lose players. It happens.
100%.
The game launches, lots of people check it out, and then people start falling off and going on to other things.
Yep.
Okay, I agree. That's a good...
Okay, that's actually one thing I can agree with. In early access games, you know, they will fall off eventually and people will go on to other games, and who knows, a good majority of those people may not return until eventually the early access version of it is complete. I mean, I know a bunch of people, heck, even some of my friends who played a little bit of Grounded when it was just starting, well, when it was just starting out, when there was no upper yard, there wasn't even a sandbox or picnic table in the first game yet. Heck, not even flying creatures. Like, they played before then, and then they came back to when, after the game was fully complete and finished, and they're like, huh, this is actually a pretty good game now. So, you know what? That is something I will admit. That is pretty good. That is a pretty good point, Milton.
statement. The game's not finished, obviously. You're paying to play the game in early access. You know it's in early access. You know you're getting a small amount worth of content. And then if you join back after update, it's just like a whole new, fresh, brand new experience.
That's normal.
It's true.
Yeah, and that's every game. Every game.
It is a fresh new experience after, waiting and playing the game after new content update. That is true.
It's never going to be a forever game.
It's losing players at an alarming rate. Looking at Steam,
Normal
I agree
thing.
with that
however,
statement.
in the case of Grounded 2, it's losing players at an alarming rate. Looking at Steam, the player count has already dropped 84% in 1 month.
Right.
That makes
On
sense.
Xbox, the game reached as high as the 9th most played
Okay.
game, which is an achievement upon itself. However, it's already dropped to 30th. And it's
Makes
been
sense.
dropping pretty much every
Okay.
month.
Yeah.
Early access, that is normal. Also, I know the game is also very GPU intensive or like hardware intensive. It's like you need a pretty good PC to be able to run this game, which
That is very true. Grounded 2 it's on Unreal Engine 5. It is very, very graphically enhanced from the first game. So, like, if you just look at the game's visuals now compared to the first game's visuals, you could see a massive upscale. And that's not even insulting the first game either, because the first game did have really, really good visuals as well. And then Grounded 2 came along and just made the visuals in the game 10 times better. So totally agree with that. Well, I could also see it as well with it being a very, very GPU intensive
Even
game.
on
is an
Xbox.
issue right now.
I mean, that was, sorry, Cdiinky, didn't mean to pause you there. But the performance stuff was kind of the big issue.
All right, sorry, Trav, I gotta pause you there. Performance stuff is a big issue. Performance stuff, like even on Xbox, which is what I'm playing on right now, I have experienced a few crashes, even though, they've stated that, hey, we've dealt with these crashes. You don't have to worry about the game crashing before, or anytime after, I should say. Anyways,
For a lot
let's
of people,
continue.
casuals, tons of casuals, like, oh, everybody's playing this game. And it's like, oh, I'm playing it, and it's like crashing and stuff like that. That's
All right, I'm going to pause you again, Trav. So, another thing that he said, lots of casuals playing this game. That is true. There are a lot of people that, they come home from school or work and they, like, all they want to do is they want to play their favorite game. They just want to play Grounded for, like, however much time they have, whether it's 2 or 3 hours after school or work. It doesn't matter. It's how much time you have.
a lot of the new people. They're like, no, it's not as fun. I really wish, this is, once again, here's my personal thing. I really wish the game came out. The Axel update was the first taste of Grounded 2 that we got.
I'll admit that is a really good point, but you're still getting paused, Trav. That is a really good point. If Grounded 2 was released with the Axel update to where it was actually like we actually had a summonable boss in the game, like the first summonable boss, which obviously that would be Axel, I would be totally okay with that. Like, I wouldn't even mind if the game was delayed for another month or two just because of that. I would be perfectly fine. And it just gives us a really good taste of what Grounded 2 will offer in the future, especially with its bosses and gameplay mechanics, if it came out with the Axel update.
With the winter update being the big expansion, and hopefully, and the idea being that the Axel update would also have, if we got it that time, the performance mess.
Early access, once again, it is, what's it called? It'll be improved in the future.
Also looking at Steam, Grounded 2 has less players than Grounded does.
Grounded 2 is in early access.
All right, I'm sorry about that. So, I know for a fact that Diinky, my man here, he's going to say it, and Trav's going to say it. Grounded 2 is early access. It is not complete, nor will it be complete in around, I want to say like 2 or 3 years, which is when the first Grounded was completed. Around the time the first Grounded was completed, I should say. So just because it has 405 less players to be exact, playing than Grounded 1, which is a fully released game, and it's been fully released for almost 3 years now, keep in mind. Grounded 2 to have slightly less players than Grounded 1, and especially because of the fact that Grounded 1, they're like there's going to be people that are going to go play it because, you know, they've seen Grounded 2 and they're like, huh, you know, I haven't really played Grounded 1 yet. Or I don't know, like they see Grounded 2 is a really good game. They're like, you know, I'm going to try it out, and if I like it, I'm going to go play the first game. I'm going to play the first game first. And who knows, maybe it's another way around to where it's like, oh, Grounded 2 looks awesome. Or who knows, people might just go back to Grounded 1 just to see how that game is compared to Grounded 2.
The game has been out for just over a month and a bit now. Grounded 1 is fully finished, fully fleshed out game. It's got New Game Plus, it's got a ton of replayability. Grounded 2 really doesn't have a lot of that, but when
another thing, replayability.
New people coming to Grounded. Now, maybe people who saw the second game tried it out.
Like a lot of people could have been like on their list and they just forgot about it, and then Grounded 2 came out and they're like, oh yeah, Grounded 1. So who knows?
And then they were told the first game was good and they were like, okay, well, I'll go check that out. That's perfectly logical. That could have happened.
That's true. That's fine.
But to say that the original game, which at this point most people have completed, should have more games than the brand new game, who is in early access, and the point of early access is to get players to give you feedback to make the game better. I just think that's silly.
Yes, but also no.
So let's jump into the two concerns I have. The first one is going to
Well,
be...
I mean, the player base is... I mean, a lot of people finish the content and they're just waiting for... They want more. But
that is true. People are waiting for more content. In the Axel update, which when I'm recording this video, I am recording this video not even... Like, I'm recording it a week before the PTB update comes out for Axel. So that is something to also keep in mind.
There's nothing there, realistically.
The update schedule. Now, I've seen people commenting on my videos about this, that if you don't like the update schedule, just wait till it's 1.0. And you know what? That's easy enough to say.
I hate that personally because it's like, I don't want to wait for one.
Also, that's true. I don't want to wait. And I said this earlier, it's going to take Grounded 2 easily 2 or 3 years, similar to Grounded 1, to get to 1.0. And in that time frame, I don't want to play the game at the beginning for like a week and then just never play the game again until it's fully released. Like, what I want to do is I want to play the game, and then when the next content update hits, play that update to see how that content is. Because who knows, like, I could play, who knows, maybe with the Garn update or Axel update, it does something, and then in 1.0, it gets changed later on. Like, let me show this as an example. The Coltana defense. In Grounded 1, before, the Coltana defense wasn't even a thing. It was just a piece of paper that you picked up. You were done. You just got the Coltana. Simple as that. And then I believe this is when it got changed during the 1.0 update. They didn't make it easy at all. They reworked it into not an insane defense, because obviously you can't build where in the charcoal bag where the Coltana is. But they reworked it into a defense to where you have to get, you know, your best sizzle gear or like your best fresh weapons, I should say, in order to deal with the ladybird larvae that are trying to attack the Coltana recipe, so you can actually get the Coltana itself, which they actually made it a challenge instead of you just running in and picking it up.
West panel they had yesterday, which really...
I skipped that one. I didn't see it. I saw they revealed a little bit of stuff, but they didn't show too much. But
they did not give us anything of substance. They did reveal a couple of new things, but they didn't show us any of the new things. They didn't show us the build matrix thing that they're going to be showing off.
That's surprising. They didn't actually give video. They really should have. That would add hype. They're very the devs like to sneak out little stuff. That's interesting.
I will admit, if they would have showed off the build 'em feature, which is coming in the Axel update, that would have been pretty cool. But also, they've already showcased like what Axel looks like in the update itself. So if they would have kept showing things up for hype, eventually when the update comes and people are like, oh yeah, I've already seen this stuff, more people are gonna go off of the game than if they were like, okay, yeah, let's just show Axel and then the other stuff can be shown off later when the actual update hits. Axel creates a bunch of hype. It's the main thing surrounding the update. So people are going to see that and then they're going to go, oh yeah, look at all these cool new features and weapons or whatever that they haven't shown off that look awesome and I want to try them out.
Ever, the amount of people that played it at launch. It's usually a fraction of that. And then what happens is eventually when it releases 1.0, then many people will come back. Sometimes it exceeds the early access launch, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes.
I mean, yeah, like, and then, no, I see what you're saying, which is true. Like Valheim, love Valheim, but their initial success has like been dwarfed by how slowly they've been putting out stuff. I've been playing Valheim again.
Valheim is another one of my favorite games, and unfortunately, its initial success, like Travis said, it's been dwarfed because of how slow they've been putting out content.
It's still a great goal.
New people, especially on Xbox, it's on Game Pass Ultimate. If you buy Game Pass Ultimate, the game is free. People will probably play the game and be like, I don't like it, and then move on to the next game, which is completely fine.
But what that means is, as less people are playing the game, as the numbers are dwindling, as less people come back because the updates are so far apart, and it's harder to get people to come back. Because imagine right now, if the Axel update, if the fall update doesn't come until mid to late October, how many of those people that stop playing right now are going to come back to fight a boss that they're probably going to beat in an hour or two, right? Especially if they've done everything at this point. Beat the boss, get everything unlocked, and then what? Now you have to wait 3 to 4 to 5 more months for the next update?
Okay, I agree with him a little bit. I agree. Yes, the Axel update is going to be a minor update compared to the other updates that are coming. The Axel update.
That is true. The Axel update, especially because of the fact that they're doing a PTB for next week, when people beat Axel in the PTB, or heck, not even the PTB, during the actual update itself, and they're like, okay, that was fun, but I'm gonna wait for the next big update, which, because of the fact they're doing bigger updates now, that big update's not gonna come until 3 to 4 months later.
It's going to be small. I think it's going to be Axel. There's going to be a new armor set and the new build 'em menu. That's all we know so far, and a ton of more improvement issues. But yeah, they've already said it straight off the bat. The fall update or the Axel update is going to be a lot smaller than the other planned content updates.
For people like me who are like fans of the game, who cover the game and the content of the game, for people like you watching this video who are fans of the game, you'll come back and try it out. I'll always come back and try out an update.
100%.
But most people will not. And what that means is there's going to be less feedback given. There's going to be fewer people giving feedback.
I would say, me personally, I would prefer hardcore, dedicated fans of the game giving feedback than a ton of like brand new people that have no idea what they're talking about.
That is true.
I would much prefer having
for a bunch of brand new people. Now, this is no offense, because obviously, if you're brand new to Grounded and there's something that you personally don't like, but more of like, oh, well, maybe you're playing the game and you don't like how something, or like, heck, how the story plays out, for example. Like, okay, that's perfectly fine. That's your opinion. Like Diinky said, if it's a brand new update and they're trying to give feedback on it, it's better for I wouldn't say a hardcore veteran. I would say more of someone who knows about Grounded, who's, definitely played it a lot more than someone who's only played the game a couple of times, or maybe even once or twice and then never played it again. Or heck, maybe even someone who only played once during a brand new update and then just never played or never even tried out some of the other stuff in that update ever again until the 1.0 update.
Game.
We doing
You're
double.
not going to get a lot of critical feedback. And I saw this with the first game. Between early access launch and 1.0, most of the feedback I saw was positive. And a lot of it was well-deserved because the game was a pretty good game.
Yep.
But there was very little critical feedback. And most of the critical feedback, not really much was done with it.
Okay, I agree.
Ooh.
Some hardcore fans of the game, especially me, I love Grounded.
That is true. I love Grounded. It is one of my favorite games of all time. So when people love the game a lot, they are going to, they're obviously going to give positive feedback. And because of the fact that there's not much critical feedback being taken into play, because, there's obviously so many people that love the game, because it's not a known issue, because this critical feedback isn't a known issue, the devs aren't going to really waste their time with it. Unless obviously more and more people decide, hey, this is a big issue, you need to deal with it, then the devs will actually decide to do it.
Definitely, I am a little bit
Like if I don't like something, I'm telling you I don't like it because I want to be able to like, this is amazing.
Audience, there'll be new people in their audience who haven't played the game and come play it.
I think I would much prefer having the game fully finished 1.0 and then a ton of streamers stream it. Because if they
And come play it. Update comes out, and every time they
I'm done.
if they were updating the game on a frequent basis, you might get a big streamer who has like 10,000 viewers, play it every time a big update comes out, and every time they stream it, when a new update comes out, their audience, there'll be new people in their audience who haven't played the game and come play it.
I think I would much prefer having the game fully finished 1.0 and then a ton of streamers stream it. Because if they stream in early access, the game could be a buggy mess and they don't like it, which is a massive impression on like
Because there's
the
bugs in it.
10,000, 20,000 viewers they have. Instead of them going into 1.0 and the game is fully finished, the story is great, and they say this game is great, go try it now. Like it's very different if compared to an early update to a more finished update.
And that's where I really wish they had the performance set in stone with.
But okay, being completely honest, that is true. That is completely true. I would also rather have a bunch of people, like especially streamers, like once the game is fully released, play the game then to where they can fully stream and play through the story with their chat. And maybe their chat's like, oh, hey, this game's pretty good. I want to play this game. And they go and buy the game as well. I would much rather have that than obviously people stream and play the game when it's just launched. There's not all the content has been added to it. It's not fully released yet or anything. And it's still a pretty buggy mess, no pun intended, to where it gives off a bad first impression to the people in their chat.
Like an Axel Boss and stuff like that, just in case any, I know like Cocarnage played
Axel Boss.
it, and other streamers and stuff like that played it. It'd been nice to have like that good first taste of it. I don't know if any other huge streamers or content creators actually went into Grounded 2, but okay, going back.
Updates.
I'm just repeating myself at this point.
Content, whoever that may be, they'll be making more videos. Right now, people are looking at like commenting on my videos saying you're just making videos for the sake of making them. I'm making videos to provide news updates, and I'm making videos like this to hopefully provide constructive feedback that maybe can affect the long-term game. Like what?
Okay, I agree. Yeah, some content in Grounded right now is dry. I've done all my build videos pretty much. I've got a couple in mind. Tier list videos I can do. There's really not.
That's true. Grounded content for me, anyways, has been pretty dry. I'm like, oh man, it has been pretty dry. I don't know what else to do. I've had the Venom video, like which is my last video I've done for a while now. I just haven't got the trinket for it until, heck, I don't even think a day after I got the trinket. Heck, it may have been the same day I got the trinket, I recorded that video because I knew exactly what I had in mind. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do a video on this because no one else has. And I've had videos like that to where it's like, oh, no one else has done a video on this. And, I try them out and I'm like, oh, this is not going to work, or, oh, this is way too hard for me. I might just go on to something else or reform it into something easier that I can manage. And that's pretty much how it is. Because unfortunately, especially in Grounded 1, when after the 1.0 update, barely any sort of patches were being implemented, that's how content was. I was pretty much uploading monthly Grounded videos by then, and either way, the views were doing mediocre at best.
Kind of stuff I can do.
A lot about the dev team. I'm dumb. I play game, not go into like the LinkedIn to see dev team new.
I don't know why that's such a big issue.
Second concern, and this is the one that is even more concerning, and a lot of you might not.
That's completely fine.
What happens at the end of the game, right? So my second concern, and this is the one that is even more concerning, and a lot of you might not know about it.
Okay, here we go.
Is the dev team for Grounded 2 is new.
I don't know why that's such a big issue.
And
Huh? Did you say a big issue is that people were new? Brother, I don't know if you know how experience works, but you got to do something in order to gain more experience on it. Better yet, I have a story. So one of my friends, they applied for a Pizza Hut, and this Pizza Hut was like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since he told us. I'm so sorry. But they pretty much taught him the ropes, and they're like, okay, come back. Well, or they said, hey, we'll call you when we need you. And, you know, they went on their way, and eventually it was a few days and he never got the call. So he called him back, and my friend called them back, and the people at Pizza Hut were like, oh yeah, well, we actually don't need you anymore because you weren't as fast and efficient as we wanted you to be. And the moral of that story is, I'm going to say this right now, the people at Pizza Hut were absolutely moronic, because you can't expect someone who's brand new to be as perfect as you want them to be. And in the context of this, yes, like the dev team, if people on the dev team are new, they're obviously not going to know like what needs to be done to make the game able to do their part in making this game. They need experience.
I do have a question, which obviously
is the dev team new? I mean, like they added.
If it's new,
and I'm sure it will never be answered. But my question is, why was the original dev team not brought back to make a sequel?
Okay, when I got flown out to LA, I have been told.
Look at this guy bragging about the LA thing.
yeah, I could agree with Trav. Get a load of this guy right here bragging about getting flown out to LA. You know what I could have done? Hold up, I need info on this. From where I live, I could have gotten an American Express card and flown to LA for $200. Except I don't want to fly out. Except I don't want to go out to LA because LA's Tweakerville.
I wasn't, because I was too busy building Burgle. Don't forget to check out.
And to make the game, to make the sequel to that game.
Again, I can't really say much, but I think it's better having a new dev team instead of the old dev team. So
Thought of by most people as a top 3 to 5 survival game of all time.
yeah, great game.
Why would you gut that team and bring a brand new team in to make the game, to make the sequel to that game?
Again, I can't really say much, but I think it's better having.
Okay, I'm going to say this. It's better because, one, yeah, it sucks that they did gut the old team, but it's because of the fact that Grounded 2 is significantly larger than Grounded 1, so they're going to need more people to work on it.
And that the original Grounded developers are only consulting on it and not really actively developing. There might be a couple that are there, but certainly not all of them. And the main person is Adam Brennicky, who, as far as I know, came up with the idea of Grounded.
Yep.
And he's either not involved with the sequel or he's in a very minor role.
No comment. I can't say.
He was the face of the first game. He was the one that made all the big announcements. He was in one of the first marketing videos they put out for the sequel, which gave me confidence that, okay, the game's in good hands. It'll eventually be what it needs to be. But he's not been involved in it. He's not been seen anywhere else. Instead, there's a new game director who, as far as I know, had nothing to do with the first game. They brought...
True. That is true. Chris Parker wasn't, as far as I know, wasn't in like development with Grounded 1.
in a new studio who in Eidos Montreal, who, yes, they've helped make great games before, and I'm sure they're capable developers, but you now have a brand new team of people trying to make the sequel to probably your favorite game or one of your favorite games of all time.
Okay, so I think the reason why the developers wanted to go with another dev company to help them is because when Grounded came out, they had like a very small dev team. I didn't know the exact, and I
with me. Point.
They can deliver, but I would feel far more confident if the development team for Grounded 2 was made up of mostly the same people from the first game, and then they added on top of that.
I think you're too stuck in the past.
People from the first game, if they deliver, sure, there's a possibility they can deliver. But I would feel far more confident if the development team for Grounded 2 was made up of mostly the same people from the first game, and then they added on top of that.
I think you're too stuck in the past, to be honest. I would
Greedy with me, Milton. But I don't understand the dev part. I mean, I don't think it's a big point. It's like I don't think his point is like a very this is scary. It's more like this could be bad, and then if they do a bad job, that could be why they did bad.
That's true.
It's just I don't see it as like a strong criticism of the game. But it could be like, it just depends if where they go, because if they make us 2 years from now we're like, the game is perfect and 10 out of 10, then it was not a good criticism of it. It's like it was just like a maybe bad thing, haha. Like it could be like this foreign person over here, this person could hurt you, so you're gonna it's not a real, like, we don't have like here's why it's bad. It's just like maybe.
prefer taking risks. If it doesn't work out, that's completely fine. You can make up with your mistakes instead of sticking the safe route. And
that would make me have more confidence. And then I also question, is the change in this...
I'm going to pause this again. Taking more risk. Like, yes, if it does bad, if Grounded 2 eventually turns out to be bad, that is going to be a massive kick in the gut. But in my opinion, if they didn't take, it's better for them to take risk than to literally just do nothing at all and pretty much make Grounded 1 but on a slightly bigger map. Because if they didn't do, like for Axel, for example, they took a huge risk and made a ginormous boss and on a size we haven't seen before for being an enemy that we can actually fight. And guess what? It could pay off. I mean, I'm a week away from Axel being released. Who knows? It could be buggy. Axel could be way overtuned. And it could be a failure at launch, but they took a risk. And guess what? Because of the fact the game's in early access, they now have the knowledge. Oh my God, what am I pointing? I'm pointing in my mouth for knowledge. They now have the knowledge to where in the future, maybe they release a giant full-grown praying mantis boss that could spawn praying mantis and nymphs. I don't know how fun of a fight that would be, but if they do that as a fight, they now have the knowledge from Axel, like, hey, what can we do to make this giant, like, colossal boss fight fun for the player while making it still challenging enough, to where it's not insanely easy.
And the new development team, is that the reason they're doing less frequent updates? And is that the reason many features from the first game were stripped out and they're going to be added later on?
Right now, we do not know how big and how much content they are going to be adding in.
That is true. We do not know how much content they're adding in. If I had to guess, it's going to be between, I want to say maybe, who knows, maybe 4 or 5 major content updates before 1.0 with the Axel, Garden, Pond, more than likely the sandbox, or the playground, I'm sorry, I should say. And then the area, like the inside area, like of the garden shed in the park. I don't even know if it's a garden shed or whatever, but that area.
Later updates, we have no idea. We've got no content updates in Grounded 2 yet. So there's really nothing we can say about that right now. Also,
I haven't said this yet, but Trav's Sonic t-shirt is awesome.
See how that worked out. I don't know if this is something update.
There's plenty
compared to like more updates.
Zip lines, mushroom bricks. There's plenty of other things. I'm not going to go through all of them.
So,
well, let's see how well we match up.
Okay,
like the removal of zip lines.
They've already confirmed that zip lines, I believe, are coming back on the Pond update. So that's going to be a year for when Grounded 2 was first released. And then mushroom bricks, they're probably going to add later on. I would assume the garden update.
I think is fair because the buggies kind of like completely override that, and they wanted you to experience.
And that is true. The buggies, they override the zip lines, and the reason why they didn't want to do mushroom bricks was because of the pine walls. Which, yeah, they aren't insanely strong, but it's still a new building piece that makes people want to build with that and make their builds unique instead of just them building it out of mushroom bricks and having a extraordinarily strong base from the first game.
So they have to be taken small.
Okay, I don't think they don't want to overwhelm the players with like a ton of stuff. Like imagine
the
new stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's better that they're holding back on some items.
Were they stripped out?
No, like, I mean, I get what he's saying. I'm trying to figure out what to do. Build this one, so I knew.
Out because they just wanted to build their game and then see how it is, and then add those things back on later on. I don't know. These are questions I have. So, like I said, I'm still optimistic long term that the game will end up being a good survival game. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna stick with it through early access.
Grounded 2 won't be hitting 1.0 till at least end of 2026 at the earliest. That is
true. Early 2026.
We have no idea.
End of 2026. Earliest.
You're
that
gonna
is
see
true.
That me and probably most other people that were covering this game, there's gonna be slim pickings for us to make content on YouTube.
That's true, but that's how YouTube is.
Yeah.
That's
so the only options are make no videos.
I can fully agree. That is how YouTube is.
Make up content for videos, like just make up ideas and just make videos for the sake of making them. Or we'll just have to make videos on other games and come back to Grounded 2 when there's updates.
I don't see an issue with that, to be honest.
Yeah. It's going to end up more likely than not being the last one.
Yeah, the views will drop, but hey, it gets content out. Heck, I could do a video of ranking every lab based on the 7th door or the 7th door opening of every single lab. I could do that for content. Boom, so content idea.
Yeah.
And whenever there's news on Grounded 2, I'll jump back into it.
Okay.
And I guess the question I'm going to end this with is, Let me know if you're concerned at all in the comments down below. This was, I mean, I know the opening was kind of like a joke, funny, haha, but
yeah,
in all seriousness, I am kind of concerned, especially with how low the player base has already dipped a month after launch, especially with other games coming
Once
out.
again, early access in the fact that Grounded 1 is a fully developed game where Grounded 2 isn't.
And it could
We're
very
going to
well
come
dip
back
below
probably
2,000,
on the 1.0 release when the game's fully finished.
Again, it's an early access game.
Sorry, I have ads. I didn't turn ads on. You're welcome, Cdiinky. Those 3 pennies. When next time I see you, give them to me.
No hate towards Milton at all. Do not.
All right, and with that, that is going to be the entire video. Once again, no hate towards Milton or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to joke around a bit and voice my opinions on, you know, is Grounded 2 dead or not, even though I am 5 days late on making this video. So with that is going to be all for today's video. If y'all enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.